There's something about the suburbs that makes people feel safe. Perfect lawns, quiet nights, rows of houses that look almost identical. You can go for a walk at midnight, see porch lights glowing in the distance, and think to yourself, nothing bad ever happens here. But the truth is, danger hides best where no one expects it. And for one woman, the home she thought was her sanctuary was actually being shared. She wasn't alone. For months, maybe longer, someone was living in her attic, eating her food, using her Wi-Fi, watching her every move. This is her story. She bought the house because it felt safe. Nestled on a quiet cul-de-sac, 2 stories with beige siding and a small fenced yard. The kind of place where neighbors wave politely, where you can leave packages on your porch without worrying they'll disappear. For a while, it was everything she'd dreamed of. Cozy, peaceful, predictable. But little by little, she began to notice things. It started with food, small things at first. A granola bar missing from a box, a yogurt cup gone from the fridge. She thought she'd forgotten, maybe eaten them while half awake in the morning rush. But then it happened again and again. She wrote it off. Stress, forgetfulness. It wasn't worth worrying about. Until her Wi-Fi started acting strange. She'd be watching a show, streaming late at night, when suddenly her connection would drop to a crawl. Frustrated, she checked her router app, and there it was, an unknown device connected to her network. No name, no brand, just a blank line. She changed her password immediately. She told herself it must have been a neighbor hacking in. But the next night, the device was back. It felt wrong, violating, like someone invisible had pushed their way into her private space. She brushed it off, but a seed of unease had been planted. That seed grew the night she heard the first noise. She was lying in bed, scrolling on her phone, when she heard it, a faint shuffle overhead, like weight shifting on wood. Her house had an attic, narrow and dusty, but she'd never really used it. She told herself it was an animal, a raccoon maybe. Houses made noises, but her gut told her otherwise. The noises didn't happen every night, just sometimes, always late, always when she was alone, the house dark and silent, except for that subtle movement above her ceiling. Her friends laughed when she mentioned it. "It's just the house settling," one said. "Girl, you need to sleep," another told her. So she stayed quiet after that. But she started locking her bedroom door at night. Weeks went by, and things only got stranger. One morning, she walked into her kitchen and stopped cold. The cabinet door was open, not wide, just cracked, but she knew she had closed it the night before. Another time, she found her bathroom door shut tight, when she always left it slightly open. Her cat, usually calm, would sit at the bottom of the attic ladder, staring upward, her tail twitching. Sometimes she'd hiss at the ceiling. And then there was the smell, a faint odor, stale and sour, like unwashed clothes. She noticed it strongest in the hallway beneath the attic. She cleaned obsessively, lit candles, opened windows, but the smell always came back. Her sleep began to unravel. Every creak of the floorboards sent her heart racing. Every night she checked her locks, her windows, her alarm system, 3 times over, but still, the feeling persisted. Someone was there. She started leaving small traps just to prove herself wrong. A bag of chips neatly stacked on the counter, a bottle of water left in the fridge, its cap twisted carefully to a certain angle. She even sprinkled flour across the kitchen floor one night. The next morning, 1 chip bag was gone. The water bottle was half empty, cap twisted differently, and in the flour, faint prints, too small and uneven for boots, too human to be anything else. That morning, she didn't go to work. She sat in her car, gripping the steering wheel, trying to steady her breath. She thought about calling the police, but what would she even say? I think a ghost is eating my chips. Instead, she decided to confront it. That night, she lay in bed with her lights off, pretending to sleep. Hours passed. Midnight. 1, 2, and then she heard it, the creak of wood, slow, careful. Not from the attic this time, from the hallway. Her blood turned to ice. She stayed perfectly still, holding her breath, listening as the floorboards groaned. The sound moved past her bedroom, then stopped. Minutes stretched like hours. Finally, she couldn't take it anymore. She flicked on her lamp. The hallway was empty. Her front door still locked, but she knew what she'd heard. Something was moving in her house. The next morning, she decided she couldn't ignore it anymore. She grabbed a flashlight, pulled down the attic ladder, and climbed up, her heart pounding so loudly she was sure it echoed in the walls. The air was thick with dust. Her flashlight beam cut across boxes of old holiday decorations, a broken lamp, piles of insulation. At first, nothing, just the usual forgotten junk. But then she turned her light to the far corner and froze. There, nestled between beams, was a makeshift camp, a thin sleeping bag, wrinkled and stained, empty food wrappers, dozens of plastic water bottles, a backpack half open with clothes spilling out. She covered her mouth, bile rising in her throat. Someone had been living here. But the worst part wasn't the bedding or the wrappers. It was the wall. Scratched into the wooden beams, dozens of words stared back at her. Her name, over and over again, written in uneven, jagged letters. And beneath them, chilling phrases. I see you. You look so peaceful when you sleep. Soon. Her knees nearly gave out. She stumbled backward, flashlight shaking. Her mind screamed one thought. He's here. He's been here all along. She scrambled down the ladder, slammed it shut, and locked herself in her bedroom, dialing the police with trembling hands. Her voice broke as she begged them to hurry. They told her to stay outside. Do not re-enter. Help was on the way. She grabbed her keys, her cat, and ran to her car. She locked the doors, heart hammering, staring at her house. And that's when she heard it. The attic door creaked open. Footsteps. Heavy. Slow, descending the stairs. She fumbled with her horn, laying on it, hoping to scare him off, hoping the neighbors would wake up. But she couldn't bring herself to look at the door. She couldn't bear to see who or what was inside. The police arrived minutes later. They searched every inch of the house. The attic was just as she had seen it. The sleeping bag, the wrappers, the scratches on the wall. But the stalker was gone. The police told her it must have been a drifter, someone who'd slipped in and out without her noticing. They advised new locks, security cameras, stronger alarms. But the explanation didn't comfort her, because she knew the truth. This wasn't random. He knew her name. He had written about watching her sleep. This was personal. She moved out within weeks, but she never felt safe again. In every new house, every new apartment, she still caught herself staring at the ceiling at night, listening for footsteps above. And sometimes, just sometimes, her Wi-Fi lags. An unknown device pops up, and she wonders if he ever really left. So, the next time you hear a noise in your attic or see your Wi-Fi slow down in the middle of the night, ask yourself, are you really alone in your own home? Or is someone already inside, waiting? If you enjoy late-night chills like this, don't forget to subscribe, because there are darker stories waiting for you.